Lago Rodrigo de Freitas, the large body of open water that lies in the heart of the bustling city, was certainly a scenic venue for these Olympics. The civil engineer side of Mark D. Jonge wants to leave nothing to chance as he seeks perfection in everything about his kayak. But sometimes, the two-time world champion admitted on Saturday, you have to let loose the inner athletic beast to succeed. If anything, maybe just over-analyzing and really breaking things down stroke by stroke, D. Jonge said when asked what went wrong in his disappointing 7th-place finish in the men's A1 200-meter final. I think when you do that, you take away some of the emotion of just going out and crushing it. That's what I wanted to do today. I got to the line and I wanted to floor it the whole way. Stop thinking. Your body knows what to do. I speak a lot about the technical aspect to it, but there's for sure an emotional component, and a lot of it is just going hard and flooring it. With others in the world feeling the same way and little margin for error in the ultimate power race in kayaking, D. Jonge appeared to lose whatever edge he had that made him the best sprinter in the world over the past 2 years. I'm going to have to come to terms with that over the next couple of days, D. Jonge said. Also on Saturday, the Canadian foursome in the K4 500-meter final, Emily Fornell of Montreal, Casey Fraser of Oakville, O&T, Quebec City's André Landois and Genevieve Horton of Lake Echo, Ben S., were eighth in their medal race. One backdrop offers views of the famed Christ the Redeemer statue. Sugarloaf Mountain towers over the lake has another. It's safe to say, however, that few Canadian athletes will have postcard memories of the home to the canoe/kayaks and rowing regattas in Rio. Clean times went to work early Saturday morning, and perhaps punctuated the past 2 weeks, when one of Canada's top gold medal hopes in Brazil couldn't find his best stroke. Mark D. Jonge, the two-time reigning world champion from Halifax, finished a distant and disappointing 7th in the men's A1 200 meters to end a miserable couple of weeks on the water for Canada's rower and paddlers. I was still the guy to beat as the world champion coming into this, said the clearly dejected 32-year-old. Unfortunately, they got the better of me. Unfortunately, D. Jonge wasn't alone among Canadians to have his hopes sunk on the murky waters at Lagoa Stadium over the past 2 weeks. In fact, with just a single medal earned over the two regattas, the silver by like twain double-sculped rowers Lindsay Jenrich and Patricio De, it was the worst combined production from the sports since 1988. Expectations for both rowing and canoe/kayak were muted prior to the games, but few would have predicted this outcome for sports in which Canadians have in the past excelled. Scott Logan, Canoe Kayak Canada's high-performance director, acknowledged afterwards that being shut out of the medals for the first time since the 1992 Barcelona Games was unexpected and hinted at the need for change in Canadian paddling. Besides D. Jonge, former Olympic medalists Adam Van Coverden and Mark Holdershaw were considered podium possibilities here, and neither of them made their final. Canoe kayak has always been a medal-producing sport, Logan said. So you have your ups and downs. Right now we have an older team that has served incredibly well. They've raced with distinction and brought lots of honor to the country, but many will now retire. It's put to us to bring the next waves of youth up. I think on the podium is acutely aware of that youth movement. Rowing Canada, which had combined for 19 medals over the previous 6 Olympics but just alone one here, faces similar issues. The powerhouse days of the past for Canadian rowers seem over, and major changes are expected within that organization, as well. D. Jonge could have eased some of the sting with a big effort on the final day of competition. You have to recognize that if we're not getting the medals, we're not going to have the same level of support. So that's unfortunate, D. Jonge said, acknowledging the team-wide disappointment. We're still a pretty good team, but we'll see what happens. The bronze medalist in London 4 years ago, D. Jonge had been the best in the world for much of the time since then and arrived in Rio with big expectations, although warning signs started to develop earlier this year. 7th isn't really where I'd seen myself coming into this thing, D. Jonge said. But realistically it's not far off. I didn't have the best World Cup season in Europe in May and June. I was really hoping that was just a random thing that was happening and I wasn't firing on all cylinders, but it appears it's a season-long thing. Racing in a deep field with a half-dozen serious contenders, D. Jonge was timed in 36.080 seconds, well back of gold medal winner Liam Heath of Great Britain. silver went to Maxime Beaumont of France, while Sol Cravieto of Spain and Germany's Ronald Drohe finished in the dead heat to share bronze. "I honestly don't know what went wrong," Jonge said. "I have some thinking to do. I felt that if I would have had that race in years past, that would have been a medal performance. Maybe I am just telling myself that. I don't know if I kind of slipped this year or if other people stepped it up for both." Unlike Van Verdonk and Holdershow, who likely will retire from Olympic competition, Jonge expects to return to the flat water in the future.